Hey kids, my name's Jake, and welcome to Jake's Adventure. I want to take you guys on an adventure through Texas history. First, let me introduce you to my buddy Carly. She loves a good adventure. Look, here she comes now.
Hey Jake, what's going on? Oh, hey everybody. Jake, did you tell everybody about the game that's going on during the adventure?
Oh no, I didn't. We should tell them the rules of how it works. Your teacher is going to hand out some colored index cards. Make sure everyone gets a set. If you look on one side of the card, you'll see a letter A, B, C, or D.
Make sure you all are ready for the adventure when you hear this sound. The game begins. A question will pop up with a multiple choice answer. All you need to do is hold up the card you think is correct. If you think your answer is correct, then write the question number on the opposite side of the card.
Okay, now you know the rules of the game. Let's saddle up and get ready for our adventure.
Let's start off in the mid-1700s. People still believed in having a king. This period is where people thought that God gave the king the right to rule, otherwise known as the divine right of kings.
But then people began to challenge this belief with science and logic. This caused people to get uneasy. This period was also known as the Enlightenment.
Now we're in the period of Father Hidalgo calling for independence. Father Hidalgo was an important person to Mexico gaining independence. He gave a speech called the Grito de Dolores, which rallied people to believe that Mexico could be independent from Spain. In 1811, Hidalgo was captured by the Spanish guards and executed. However, his dreams for Mexico's independence never died.
Okay, you know what time it is. Here's your question. What was the theory called that gave the king God's consent to rule? A. The divine right of kings. B. Taco Tuesday. C. Charles Williams. And D. The Enlightenment.
Okay, everybody, hold your answers up.
Okay, kids, don't forget to write down the question number on the back of your card before we move on.
Now we're in the period of Father Hidalgo calling for independence. Father Hidalgo was an important person to Mexico gaining independence. He gave a speech called Grito de Dolores, which rallied people to believe that Mexico could be independent from Spain. In 1811, Hidalgo was captured by the Spanish guards and executed. However, his dreams for Mexico's independence never died.
Later that year, Hidalgo's supporters led a group of rebels to overthrow Spanish control in San Antonio. Once overthrown, they named the town Las Casas, and then took control of La Bahia and Nacogdoches. Later that year, on January 22nd, Las Casas declared itself independent. In Spain, Hidalgo's followers continued to fight for independence years after his death. After Juan Bautista died, José Bernardo Gutierrez left Navarro Santander and fled to Louisiana, re-established an army. Rivers, cities, landforms, and foods and everyday items remind us of Texas's Spanish heritage.
Question number 2. When did Mexico gain its independence from Spain and become its own country? A. August 24th, 1821. B. On St. Patrick's Day. C. 4th of July. D. April 29th, 1820.
Okay, kids, don't forget to write down the question number on the back of your card before we move on.
Now let's take a look at the surge of immigration to Texas. We'll start off with Moses Austin. He was born in Connecticut in 1761, and during his business dealings, he developed a keen interest in mining. After learning of George Morgan's colony in what is now Missouri, Austin moved to operate a lead mine. Austin traveled to Texas in 1820 with an ambitious plan in mind. He wanted to bring 300 families from the United States to Texas. Austin traveled 800 miles for approval from Spanish officials. Once he reached San Antonio, he confronted Governor Antonio Martinez with a signed petition. Martinez strictly followed Spanish policies and had to reject Austin's petition. The Spanish officials had seen too many filibusters try to seize Spanish lands before. Disappointed, Austin prepared to leave Texas. Little did he know that his luck was about to change. Austin informed an old friend of his, Baron de Bastrop, of his plans, and Baron agreed to influence the Spanish officials to help Austin win their approval. Bastrop arranged another meeting with Martinez, who agreed to send Austin's request to a higher authority. Already expecting a positive decision, Austin then returned to the east to begin recruiting colonists for Texas. Austin had become very ill and was dying when he learned that his plans had been approved.
On his deathbed, Austin asked his son Stephen to carry out his dream of colonizing Texas. At a young age of 27, Stephen F. Austin's father died in 1821. Stephen set aside his dreams of becoming a lawyer and set to Texas to fulfill his father's dreams. Stephen was born in Virginia and raised on the frontier. After attending Transylvania University in Kentucky, he served as a legislator for 6 years and briefly as a judge in Arkansas. Despite Stephen's youth, he proved to be the perfect person to make his father's vision a reality.
Stephen Austin's first act was to visit San Antonio and meet with Governor Martinez. Erasmo Seguin, a well-known and respected citizen of San Antonio, had been appointed by Governor Martinez to help Austin. On August 1821, Seguin escorted Austin into the city. Governor Martinez legally transferred Moses Austin's grant to his son Stephen's name. Then, Austin had to choose a sign for his colony. After looking over the area, Austin chose land between the Lavaca and San Jacinto rivers. It seemed like the perfect location, unlike the heavily forested lands of eastern Texas. It would be easy enough to clear, and unlike West Texas, it received enough rainfall to raise crops. The grassy prairie provided a good place for settlers to grow sugarcane, cotton, corn, and other crops that they were all familiar with. Austin determined that the first settlement would be settled along the lower Colorado River. After deciding the colony's location, Austin traveled to New Orleans to recruit his colonists. He knew that the colony relied on the character of the colonist. By the term of the impresarial grant, colonists had to be of good character and had to either be Catholic or agree to become Catholic.
Austin also looked for people who were willing to accept hard times. Colonists were required to pledge their loyalty to Spain, as shown in the following record of two Texas settlers, Samuel Davenport and William Barr. The impresarial grant allowed Austin to bring 300 families to Texas. These families were known as the Old 300. Settlers that were farmers received 177 acres of land. Those who raised cattle received 4,428 acres of land, and many settlers received both. After Stephen Austin made sure that the colonists were qualified, Baron de Bastrop's government's agent gave land titles to all the colonists.
In the beginning of 1821, settlers began to arrive. Some traveled through Nacogdoches along the El Camino Real, and others came by boat. Stephen Austin purchased a small boat named the Lively to help transport colonists to the mouth of the Colorado River. However, miscommunication caused a problem. Instead of the Colorado River, they were transported to the Brazos River. Austin waited at the Brazos River, but some settlers gave up and decided to return home.